Hello everyone, my name is Saroj Bhangade. Today's uh, today's date is 14 March 2022. Today's video topic is DNA. So, nucleic acid nu- nucleic acid are the organic material present in all organism in form of DNA or RNA. These nucleic acid are formed by the combination of nitrogenous base sugar molecules and the phosphate group that are the different bound bonds in the series of sequence. The DNA structure defines the basic genetic makeup of our bodies. In fact, it is a defined genetic makeup of nearly all life on the earth. So, what is the DNA? DNA is a group of molecules that is responsible for carrying and transmitting the hereditary material or the genetic instruction from the parents to offspring. So, uh, this is also true for viruses, as the most of the entities have the either RNA or DNA as their genetic material for the system. Some viruses may have RNA as their genetic material, while other have DNA as a genetic material. The human immunodeficiency virus HIV contain RNA, which is then converted into DNA after matching itself to the host cell. Apart from the being responsible for the inheritance of the genetic genetic information in all beings, DNA also play a crucial role in the production of protein. Nuclear DNA is the DNA contained within the nucleus of every cell in the eukaryotic organism, and it coded for the majority of the organism genome, while the mitochondrial DNA and the plasmid DNA handle the rest. The DNA present in the mitochondria of the cell is the term mitochondrial DNA. It is inherited from the mother to the child, and in human there is approximately 16,000 base pair of mitochondrial DNA. Similarly, plasmid have their own DNA, and they play an essential role in the photosynthesis. So, uh, DNA is known as a deoxyribonucleic acid, and it is a organic compound that have a unique molecular structure, and it is found in the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So, there are the three type of DNA: aDNA, uh, aDNA, bDNA, and zDNA. So, aDNA is a right-handed double helix similar to the bDNA form, and bDNA it is the most common DNA conformation, and it is a right-handed helix, and third is the zDNA. zDNA is a left-handed DNA where the double helix win to the left in a zigzag pattern. So, DNA was first recognized and identified by the Swiss biologist Jonas Friedrich Miescher in 1869 during his research on the white blood cell. The double helix structure of the DNA molecule was later discovered through the experiment data by the James Watson and Francis Crick. Finally, it was proved that the DNA is responsible for the storing the genetic information in the living organism. So, uh, DNA compromise the sugar phosphate backbone and the nucleotide base, guanine, cytosine, adenine, and the thymine. So, DNA structure can be through of the twisted ladder. This structure is described as a double helix, as illustrated. It is a nucleic acid, and all nucleic acid are made up of nucleotide. The DNA molecule is composed of the units called as nucleotide, and each nucleotide is composed of the three different components, such as sugar phosphate and sugar phosphate group and nitrogenous bases. So the four nitrogenous bases pair together in the following way: A with T, T and C, A with T and C with G. These base pair are essential for the DNA double helix structure, which is responsible as a twisted ladder. So DNA coil up forming the chromosome, and each chromosome have a single molecule of DNA. Overall the human being have around 23 pair of the chromosome in the nucleus cell. DNA also play an essential role in the process of the cell division. So DNA replication is an important process that occur during the cell division, and it is known as a semi-conservative replication, during which DNA make a copy itself. So this information about the DNA. Thank you.